What's up, Gotcha Gamers? YouTube here, and today we're doing something a little bit different. Instead of just building one character, we're going to be building every single character in the Erudition class. And guys, I do plan on making this into a series, so subscribe if you want more of this type of video right here, and we'll talk more about that at the end of this video today. But before we actually hop into the builds here, I do want to set up some baselines first. Out of the gate, I'm not going to say this for every build, the best light cone that you can have for any of these characters, as of right now, is going to be Jing Yuan's light cone. That is the best in slot for literally every character here. I will let you know of other options if they can run and are good with. Just know if I say that's the best in slot, it is technically the second best in slot because Jing Yuan's light cone reigns supreme over everyone's light cones. And then finally, if I haven't actually built one of these characters, or in this case for this video I haven't built two of them, I'll be giving the build that I would build for them, and I probably will be doing build guides in the future. Maybe if I get Himeko, we'll do a build guide to her at some point, but the game just won't give it to me on either of my accounts. So guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into our first pick now, which is Herta. And of course, all the background footage you're going to see is going to be these characters in action. They might not be at max level, they might not have the best relics, but that's the best I can do right now, especially if I haven't built them like Herta right here. Now, I haven't built Herta, and there's a couple reasons I haven't built Herta. First reason is her damage is lackluster, and the requirements to get her damage, which is just her follow-up attacks usually, is kind of hard to get as well because it only procs one time if they drop below 50% HP. So she technically only has one follow-up attack per enemy, which is kind of down bad, right? So if you're not getting like multiple enemies down at the same time, it's just hard to get a lot of damage out of her. That's why Herta is like so low in the tier list usually, is because first of all, her damage is not that high, and then on top of that, you have a pretty high prerequisite to hit to actually get the damage anyways. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about her best in slot relics now, and that's going to be a 2-piece ice, 2-piece musketeer, or a 4-piece musketeer. The reason this is because it gives a attack bonus and an ice damage bonus. That's really the only thing she needs here. As far as what her second best in slot light cone is going to be, that is going to be Today is Another Peaceful Day, which is a battle pass light cone. This just scales off of her energy to give her a base damage increase. Really good, really sweet to have there. And her free-to-play light cone is going to be the Seriousness of Breakfast. And that free-to-play Seriousness of Breakfast is probably going to be used for a lot of these sections here, so just keep that in mind for later in the video. As far as her planner set goes, it's going to be Salsato or Glameth, whatever one you want to run. I think Salsato is a little bit more beneficial here just because it does give you that 8% crit right here. She has no crit rate built into her kit at all, so this is going to be something really good to have with her, especially if you're wanting to run high crit damage builds on her. As far as like what you want to run for your main and substats here, on the main stats, on the body, you want to run either crit rate, crit damage, whatever gets your ratios in check. For the feet, you're going to be wanting to run speed on the feet here. If you're running Glameth, you're definitely going to have to run this to get up to that at least 160 or 135 speed you're going to want to reach. You're going to be wanting to run ice damage on her orb. And then finally for her rope, you're going to either want to run ERR or attack percentage here. It's probably just going to be attack percentage to get as much damage out as possible, but like I said, up to you. As far as the substats go, you want to be running crit rate, crit damage, speed, attack percentage, and break effect there. Now with Madam Herta out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about Miss Sussy Serval. And Serval can be quite good if she's up to E6. I mean, other than that, I mean, she's okay, but E6 is where you want to be with Serval to really be doing big damage. But let's go ahead and talk about her build now. Her build is going to be a 4-piece Sizzling Thunder. If you can't run this, then maybe running a 2-piece Sizzling Thunder, 2-piece Musketeer is also going to work here as well. Now, as far as her best in slot light cone, I actually do recommend the Passkey here, which is a 3-star light cone. It's going to be giving you energy back every time you use a skill. This paired with an energy regen rope actually helps her get her ult every 2 turns, so this can be really helpful as far as getting damage out. As far as her planner set goes, I actually recommend Glameth or Space Sealing Station here. Glameth for the increased attack and increased damage she's going to be getting, and Space Sealing Station obviously just increases her attack percentage, which increases her dots as well. On her body, you're going to be wanting to run either crit rate or crit damage here. On the boots, you're going to be wanting to run speed. On the sphere, you're going to be wanting to run lightning damage, and on the rope, it's going to be ERR or attack percentage here. Now, hopping into her substats, it's going to be crit, speed, attack, and break effect. This is going to be pretty standard across all the builds we talk about today because everyone does damage and everyone generally uses these substats here. So, with Miss Serval, Sussy Serval out of the way now, let's go ahead and talk about Miss Qingque, which I think if you have her E6, she is probably the best Erudition character in the game right now. I'm obviously recording this video before Argenti comes out, so yeah, keep that in mind. Argenti could pass her, I don't know. But anyways, Qingque is going to be running a 4-piece Quantum set. Obviously, Quantum set's really good because it has Defense Shred. Also helps her out a lot because she's Quantum. Obviously, put the Quantum set on the Quantum character, not hard. Now, as far as the light cones, her best in slot light cone is going to be Today is Another Peaceful Day. But obviously, if you don't have this, you can run a Seriousness of Breakfast on there because it does give you that damage increase as well as just increased attack as well. As far as your planar sets go, I would recommend running Runelet here because Runelet does give you that pretty big basic attack increase. But if for some reason you can't reach the 70% crit rate requirement there, then Glamis is also good if you have speed instead. She's going to be having crit rate or crit damage on the body, whatever is the best for your ratios, speed on the boots, quantum damage on her sphere, and attack percentage on her rope. I see some people recommending energy regen. I don't really recommend energy regen here. Her basic attack is 100% the most important thing from her kit. Now hopping into the substats, the best substats for her is going to be crit rate, speed, attack, and break. Same as other ones, same as the ones coming next. But with Miss Qingque out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about Mommy Himeko now. Now, Mommy Himeko is going to be a fire type character, so we're actually going to be running something a little bit different on her. Her best 4-piece you would think would be the fire set, but no, it's actually the 4-piece new ash set, the follow-up set. This is what I recommend running on her. Of course, if you don't have this, you can run 2-piece lava, 2-piece of the musketeer. This can also work as well. Hopping into the light cone now, her best in slot light cone is going to be the birth of self. This is going to be the Herta light cone, actually. This increases follow-up damage. It's pretty good for her because her main shtick is dealing follow-up damage for the most part. Her planar set is going to be Glamith or Space Sealing Station, just because it gives an attack increase. She burns the enemy. That is going to increase the burn she puts on the enemy, and Glamith obviously gives a increase in damage overall. As far as the main and subsets go, we're going to be running crit rate or crit damage for the body, speed for the feet, fire attack for the sphere, and attack percentage for the rope. We're going to be using these same exact substats before, that being crit, speed, attack, and break effect. Now, with Miss Himeko out of the way, let's talk about our King Yuan, our general, the real general here. General Jing Yuan. So his best in slot is going to be the 4-piece Ash set. Now, you also can run 4-piece Sizzling because at the end of the day, the sets really don't matter too much if you have bad substats. Substats are always king over the set bonus, so just make sure you're running whatever has the best substats, even if you're completely offset. Now, hopping into what his best light cone is, obviously his signature light cone, but if you don't have that, you can run the birth of self as well. This is actually a pretty solid light cone for him if you have it. So just run that on him if you don't have his signature light cone. Always pretty good there. As far as his planar set goes, I would just run Glamith here if you can get Glamith. The crit rate is pretty important for him, but he does have crit rate in his kit. One of his bonus abilities as well does give him an increased crit rate too, so he does have crit rate coming from his actual kit itself, so that's really good to see there. But Glamith is going to be the best in slot here. Now, as far as the body goes, we're going to be running crit rate, crit damage, whatever gets your ratios in check. Then we're going to be running speed for the boots, and make sure you're hitting 141 speed here, just because you want him to go fast enough so he gets in front of the Lightning Lord to do enough attacks. Then on the sphere is going to be a lightning damage boosting sphere here, and then finally for the rope is going to be an attack percenting rope. Now, as far as those substats go, it's going to be the same exact substats as every other character before. Crit rate, speed, attack percentage, and break effect. Whoop-de-doo, that's so cool and so fun, isn't it? Now, on to our last character, the character that hasn't been released as of recording this video, which is Argenti. So I'm just going to be recommending what I would run on my Argenti, or what I'm going to be running on my Argenti, and that's going to be the 4-piece physical set. Yes, I'll be running the 4-piece physical set because, I mean, overall, that's just the easiest set to run for him. Now, I did say something a little bit sussy in my little before you build video on Argenti, and that's a 4-piece dot set. If you're running him on a team with a lot of dot characters, like if you're relying on his breaks, then this could actually benefit him a lot. But like I said, it's going to depend on him breaking enemy shield and also doing some extra dots to the enemy as well. So it's completely depending on how many dots you're doing here. Now, as far as his light cone, it's going to be his signature light cone. Obviously, that's going to be his best in slot light cone. Not Jing Yuan's, but signature light cone or the battle pass light cone. The battle pass light cone is going to be really important to him because of how high his energy cost is. This is going to give him an absolutely smacking damage bonus here. As far as your planar sets go, it's going to be Glamith or Salsado. Hopping into the main and subsets now, for the body, it's going to be crit rate, crit damage, whatever gets those ratios in check. Keep in mind, he does get 25% crit rate from his actual kit alone, so that does help out if you want to get his crit rate up that way. For the feet, it's going to be speed. For the sphere, it's going to be physical damage. And for the rope, I do recommend energy regen rope. Now, you can run attack percentage here, but I do recommend energy regen because of how high his ultimate cost is. You can get his ultimate up maybe 1 to 2 turns faster, depending on how many enemies are on the field. That's going to completely rely on that. Hard to actually calculate the math on that. So that being said, let's go ahead and talk about those subsets now, which can be crit rate, speed, attack percentage, and break effect here. Yep, that's the same for every character here. And that's going to be how to build every single Erudition character. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section down below. Follow if you want to see more. Like I said, this series is going to be coming out quite frequently because I am taking a trip to Japan, so I have to pre-record all these videos, so I'm recording them all today. If you guys have any questions, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I probably won't see them because I'll be in Japan and I probably won't have much data to use to see this. So I'll try to get back to you if I can, but no promises there. Anyways, gamers, subscribe if you haven't already if you like this series and you want to see more of it. And yeah, just a general rule for thumb. Sets don't really matter too much. It's your substats that matter. If you can get good substats, and you don't have good substats on sets, then just run the substats rather than the sets, because the substats are always going to be better for you. Anyways, this video is gone on for too long now, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. If there's anything I can do to improve these videos, leave them down in the comment section down below. And maybe if we make any content like this in the future, then I'll try to update that. But yeah, anyways, gamers, that's going to do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one later. Bye-bye.